I'm relatively certain that very few of you have seen one of these traditional axes of the Basque. So a little backstory before we get started here. So I've got a subscriber, John, who is Basque from Spain, and he contacted me a while back and said, I'd like you to review and take a look at some of our traditional axes that we make. And these showed up in the mail a couple days ago, and I have been really excited to pull them out, try them, see how they work, and talk a little bit about them because they're such an interesting design. So many of you may not know, but the Basque people are the oldest indigenous people of Europe, and they have a really strong tradition of their native land is full of timber, shipbuilding, carpentry, timber framing, log home construction, all of those things. They were actually doing all of that before the Roman Empire. And they've always been known for producing really good steel, not only for axes and for tools, but for weapons as well. And this design is really interesting because it is so ancient and so different than anything we have as far as like our American axes. The first thing that you might notice is there's no pole on it. And you know, that's what distinguishes it really from American axe. But the most important thing, or the thing I think that stands out the most to me, is the way that the handle is designed is totally different, the way that they're hung. These are wedgeless. There is no wedge if you look in there. There's nothing in there to hold that in there except for the taper of the handle. So you can see here, they simply come off. So it's very similar, reminiscent to like a Matic style handle that we have in our current tools. The eye of the axe, when you look at it, and I measured it, has a real strong taper in it. And so you can see the base, what is typically a palm swell down here on an American axe, is much smaller because the way it's designed to fit all the way through there and then come up and wedge itself in. That literally makes it impossible for the head to come off. I like this design for a couple different reasons, and I've never used an axe like this before because it would be so easy to make a handle for it, especially in the field. I mean, you could use a knife, you could use another hatchet. It would be just a piece of cake to hang one of these axes. The downside of that, though, is you don't have a nice big fat palm swell, which kind of keeps the axe from coming out of your hand. And I know what John's going to say, and probably any self-respecting Basque woodsman. Well, you need to stop being such a pansy and hold on to the axe, be a man, and grab it, and you won't have that problem. And I think that there's probably a lot of truth in that, but I haven't really swung it yet, so we'll find out what that's like. So John sent 3 axes here. So the smallest one, which I think is probably probably my favorite and most interesting axe, is called, well, they call it the boy's axe. So that's what they're calling it today. It's small enough where you could choke up on it and use it with one hand. It would be a really good all-around axe, not only for younger or smaller users, but even for bushcrafting. And having that head that comes off so easily makes it really appealing because it's so easy to service and so easy to fix. They are very heavy. All 3 of them are really heavy. They carry a lot of weight. There's a lot of thick steel around here. But this particular brand, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name because I can't. Here's the website. I don't know if these are available in the States. I don't think so, but maybe. I don't know if they ship internationally. I do like the shape. I do like the shape and the design of it. It's beautiful, it's elegant, and you know, these things came really sharp. I'll show you over here where I did just touch them up a little bit, but it took very little. So in all honesty, the Basque axes, all 3 of the samples that I received are exceedingly sharp. Really sharp, but, well, you know how I am. I'm just not content unless I have to mess with everything. So let's really clean. I mean, very little work, absolutely no file work. Just a small bit of work with the stone. We'll go with the 300. But I can't see any burrs, any nicks. It's exceedingly symmetrical. Much sharper than a typical axe is going to come. So then I'll touch it off here with a 1000 grit. So this is rapidly approaching what I call would definitely call scary sharp, where if you touch it, it'll cut you. It's a nice metal to work with. It doesn't seem overly hard. It takes a very nice edge. Yeah, not much. I might have 2 minutes. 2 minutes into this. I mean, it was actually even. Oh, that is sharp. That is very sharp. Okay. I was 2 minutes into putting that sort of an edge on it. I mean, it really didn't need it, but well, we know it's ready now. So the tree I've got selected for our chopping test is a good size, about a 12-inch ponderosa pine here. We'll start with the full-size felling axe and see how it chops. I really enjoy trying out something like this. It's so different and so unusual from what I'm used to. Such an interesting design. It's kind of exciting to work with a design that is probably thousands of years old, much older than the designs that I'm typically used to working with, the American felling axes and such. So let's see how it performs.